Let's get started. Yesterday we kind of left off at Buddhism, correct? I cannot reiterate how important Buddhism is. It's going to keep coming up and up and up. So you need to make sure you're tying the Eightfold Path, the Four Noble Truths, Siddhartha, his now nickname is Buddha. All those different kind of components need to come together because it's just going to keep coming back up. All right, so Buddha, he's going to come around, Four Noble Truths, the appeal of it, the vernacular. What does vernacular mean? What is vernacular? Okay.
They speak the native language.
Native language. Is that a good thing or a bad thing for regular people like you and me?
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. It makes it much more approachable. A lot of religions at this point are not using vernacular. They're using the traditional language. Like, for instance, if you go to a Jewish temple, now they kind of have a little bit of a blend, but there's still a lot of the traditional... God, what language do they speak? Huh? Hebrew. Hello. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm not stupid. Yes, I am not stupid. They still speak a lot of Hebrew in Jewish temple. I think they have a blending, don't they? Does anyone know?
Yeah.
It's a little bit of both. They use vernacular and they use Hebrew as well. And the Catholic Church, depending on what type of church you go to and how conservative it is, typically now it's just straight up vernacular. However, in very traditional and very conservative, they still have a blending. Some of what the priest reads off and stuff like that, and some of the prayers are still in Latin. So, all right. So, now Ashoka is going to be where we pick up. Now, Ashoka is part of what dynasty? Who can raise their hand? Tell me what dynasty? Regan.
No, it's the other one.
Well, there's only two right now, Mauryan or Gupta. You have a choice.
It's Byron.
Mauryan, there you go. He's part of the Mauryan. Now the Mauryan Empire is going to come with Ashoka. Now Ashoka is going to be well loved because he's a really nice guy. He's known, by the way, I did add a note to your board that I didn't have yesterday. Under Ashoka, very tolerant leader, not known for military. I would add that. If I wrote it down, you should probably write it down. I just wanted to clarify that. So under Ashoka, under your Mauryan notes that we did, I think 2 days ago, please add not known for military. Okay, so Ashoka is going to become a primary supporter of Buddhism. Okay, you know how we talked about Ashoka is going to become a primary supporter. Okay, he's going to convert. He converts. Okay, he becomes a vegetarian. Okay, and funds Buddhist temples. Okay. Okay, so Ashoka is the primary supporter of Buddhism. Obviously, he's a Buddhist himself. He's going to force vegetarianism and fund Buddhist temples. Yes, ma'am?
If Buddhist monks don't care about money, why would they in the casino?
I think they just wanted to watch. I think they were just interested in seeing what was happening.
And maybe they went because they didn't care about whether...
Yeah, they weren't gambling. I didn't see them gamble. They were just wandering around.
I thought you meant
No, they were just wandering. A lot of people just go to the casino and wander. Like me. I don't play. Oh, I'm a teacher. I have no money. All right, so changes in Buddhist thought. So Buddhism is going to evolve as we go. You're going to see a major change. So changes in Buddhism. Okay, they're going to adopt Boddhisatvas, or saints. And these are essentially the best of the Buddha, best of your meditator. Like, if you're Christian, if you're Catholic, you have saints. Yes? Hello? I'm trying to make equal, essentially, comparisons. What saints are in Catholicism is if you need guidance on how to raise your kids, you pray to Mother Mary. And Mother Mary gives you wisdom of how to care about your kids and stuff like that. If you're like lost souls, you pray to a certain saint and stuff like that. Same type of thing, except you're not praying to them. You're looking for guidance and enlightenment from certain people who've achieved enlightenment after Buddha. Okay, so also a big thing that happens, changes to Buddhism in 3rd century. In 3rd B.C.E. is donations to monasteries equals good thing. Okay, this is a big deal. Eventually, Buddhism is going to be kicked out of India, and the reason why it's going to be kicked out of India is because the monasteries have become too wealthy. Okay? Now, in Catholicism, technically, did you know you're supposed to donate 10% of your income to the church? Yeah, most people don't. If you don't, technically, you're not allowed to get into heaven. Welcome to the Catholic Church. Okay, so same type of thing that's going to happen in Buddhism. When people are living their lives, in order to gain more enlightenment, they start giving a lot of money to your monastery in order to help you earn enlightenment and stuff like that. All of a sudden, the monasteries are huge money banks, okay, and the government's not getting anything out of it. Do you think the government likes it or hates that? Hates it, absolutely. So guess what they're going to eventually do? They're going to burn them all down and kick them all out, and anyone who stays behind, they murder. Because they don't like not having access to that money. And so that's going to happen. So the idea of donations to monasteries as a good thing is really important that it starts here because it's going to change everything about Buddhism in India here later. Yes, ma'am?
Are there like female versions of monks?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Like ancient or modern?
Modern.
Modern, yeah.
They have some
They have
female
monks.
gurus.
They
or
have
something.
female monks.
Do they? I've never seen one.
There's one. There's a few in the temple at my family.
That's pretty awesome.
They
I didn't
still
know
have to
that.
shave their head.
Yeah. Everyone has to shave their
Yeah.
head. There's no exceptions.
It's hair.
Spread to. I know. Look at the girl from Stranger Things. She made it look good. All right, it's going to spread to India, China, Korea, and Central Asia. As you know, because we did our map. Okay? So, this is going to be spread to, you're going to be in parentheses, your new. And then you're going to have your spread, your traditional. To Ceylon. Burma. Thailand is going to be your traditional. Okay? So please understand that there's a newer one, and then there's a traditional one. Okay, but it is going to spread. It's going to catch on very quickly and spread all throughout. Okay? Math, that's all you need. Alright, that's what you need for India. Everyone good? Okay, Buddhism is a huge deal. Make sure you understand that it is starting to spread and it's going to become a big deal. So here's your Silk Road. Alright, so long distance travel. Now, Silk Road, Buddhism is one of those things that are going to continue and change and evolve, and you need to understand trade is the biggest thing that's going to evolve and change, so you need to make sure you know that. So lack of enforcement outside established settlements is going to be an issue, changed from the classical. Trade networks. There's going to be an increase of trade due to the Greeks. The Greeks are the first ones to really start trading in a major way. Why are the Greeks the first ones to do it? What do they have all over the place? Philip. Policies. They need to import goods, which makes sense that they're moving the most goods. That is going to lay the foundation. Once the Greeks fall and the Romans rise, the Romans are like, oh my God, this is a great idea. They keep doing it in all their regions. Remember, the Persians are building roads. So because the Persians are building roads, they have a lot more goods moving by. So during period 2, trade is up in a huge way. Monsoons, so major reasons why trade increases. Do I just can I write at the bottom here, or do I have to, can I write at the bottom? Okay, good. Okay, Silk Road. So my title is Silk Road, and I'm underlining it because it's my new one. Okay, trade increases significantly during period 2. First by Greeks. parenthesis, C. Why am I writing C?
Because they're totally necessary.
Yeah, Mediterranean Sea, they're going to do it that way. And with inventions like roads, monsoon winds. Are they inventing monsoon winds?
No.
However, it's like really the discovery. So understand, I know they're not making wind, but it's the discovery of them. And bridges. These types of inventions are going to facilitate more trade. Okay? Tariffs. What is a tariff? It's a tax on incoming goods. So tariffs. Tariffs. Taxes on incoming goods. Parentheses, increased trade. Now, the reason why tariffs are a big deal. So say Olivia is a country and I am from a foreign country. If I want to trade with Olivia's country, Olivia's like, yeah, you can totally trade with us, but you owe me 10% of everything you sell. And I'm like, but I can make a lot of money in the country of Olivia. So I'm like, God damn it. So I'm like, all right, I'm coming in. And I pay her 10%, so she's making money, I'm making money, everyone's better off. Does that make sense? Every country in 2016 has tariffs. Tariff wars are a big deal. Tariffs, if we have a really, really high tariff here in the United States on, say, British goods, is that a good thing or bad thing for the British economy? Bad, because we're one of the biggest, we're a huge purchaser of British goods. It hurts their economy. If we have a very low tariff on the British, is that good or bad? It's good for them, and it's pretty good for us because more goods are going to come in. Okay? We are currently in a tariff war with Russia. Our Russian tariffs are really, really high. So to import Russian goods, it costs Russia, loses a lot of profits on Russia. So tariffs are going to become an issue between countries here in period 3 in a big way. Because people are going to try to block trade by saying, hey, we're going to increase. If you want to sell your Russian goods here, you owe us 40%. Yeah, that's a huge markup. And are Russians going to give up 40% of their profits? Hell no. So it's going to cause a problem. So what are they going to do? They're going to jack up their tariffs. So Americans are going to have to pay to sell in Russia 40% of their profits. Do you see how that works? So it's all about economic warfare.
Don't
Yes.
we have an embargo on Russia or something?
We have economics sanctions in place. It's not an embargo. We're only in embargo with Cuba.
Isn't it American citizens are not? They the Russian government stopped American citizens from being able to adopt children from Russia.
Oh, I have no idea. That is not
heard
anything
something
I
about
would
that.
Google. So I have no idea. All right, here we go. So trade in the Hellenistic world. Okay, the major goods that are being traded. That's the biggest thing you need to know. So your major goods. Major goods traded are spices, cosmetics, gems, and pearls, grain, wine, and oil. So these are the big things that you need to know. Okay, trade is going to increases the merchant class, both social and economically. When I say socially, what do I mean by that?
More respected.
They're way more respected and way more necessary to society, which makes them much more needed. Okay? Now, the reason why Silk Road is the name of this, it's actually not one physical road. It's not like a literally highway. It's not like I-4. Like everyone just gets on the road and walks. It's the idea, it's a symbol of crossing Asia to get to the Middle East or crossing from the Middle East to Asia. It's a symbolic thing. Eventually, the Silk Road will then come to assume both an actual physical land crossing as well as a sea crossing. So it's not just a road crossing, it's also the sea crossing. The Silk Road comes from silk, which is going to be a huge commodity that comes out of China at the end of period 2. It is also going to connect Rome and China, and there's going to be maritime trades. This is what the Silk Road actually looks like. So the Silk Road, I'm going to put in parentheses next to the Silk Road, land and sea routes. Okay, so the Silk Road is going to officially start with the Roman Empire. Okay, now your Greeks are the first one that are going to start trade, but they're only trading in the Mediterranean Sea. The Greeks are the first one to say, I like this silk thing. I like cinnamon. Cinnamon only comes from India. Okay, so that is going to open up the trade. All of a sudden, people are going to be crossing the deserts, crossing Asia in order to get there. Okay, now it's divided into small segments. You're doing it in stages. There's 4 major stages on the Silk Road. Okay, it takes you about 3 months to do it by caravan. Caravan is a bunch of horses tied together, and you go. Sea trade is going to be done mostly by Indians, Persians, Egyptians, and Greeks. Okay, now the biggest thing about the Silk Road, yes, there's goods moving economically, it's a big deal. It's also the exchanging of ideas. Religion is going to spread like crazy along the Silk Road. Okay, the first major religion to start being spread is going to be Christianity. But Christianity is going to give away very quickly to Buddhism. Buddhism is the most widely spread religion on the Silk Road. Okay, so spreads ideas, culture, religion, spread. It's popular, Buddhism. Now, that is going to change during period 3 with the creation of what religion? What major religion haven't we talked about yet, Calder? Islam. Islam will eventually knock it off. Okay, so when our travelers are crossing the Silk Road, they are using monasteries as shelter. Buddhism is the most popular religion on the Silk Road up until Islam is going to start taking over here in period 3. However, monasteries are going to be shelter. It is going to be the dominant faith. That's what you need from there. All right, and this is the map we did about the spreading. Buddhism. All right. Sea lanes. I think we're good. Christianity. Buddhism. Yeah, I'm just trying to focus on what you need. Is that all right with you? All right, Machianism. Here we go. All right. Now, Machianism. It's a religion. It's all about, it's based off Zoroastrianism. Zoroastrianism is from what civilization? Persians. It'll also become a big deal because it will be a foundation for Islam here in a second. It's all about dualism. Parentheses, balance. Good versus evil. Okay, light versus dark. Lots. That's really all you need to know about that. It is influenced by Buddhism and Christianity, so we're seeing a lot of syncretism. Syncretism is the blending of 2 religions. Okay? All right. 2. We're good. All right. On your whiteboard, here we go. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is... On your whiteboard, please tell me who is the first real supporter of Buddhism? Who is the first true supporter of Buddhism? Good, good. Who is it, Andrew? Ashoka, on your whiteboard, please tell me, where is a lot of money in India going? Where's a lot of money in India heading to? Be careful of the language you choose. I know what you're trying to say, Kaylee. It's not called a temple. It's called a what, McKinnon?
It's a monastery.
It's called a monastery. Just be careful with the language. You're right in what you were thinking, but they're called monasteries. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the other name for dharma? What is another name for dharma? Good. What is it? Grace. Four Noble Truths. On your whiteboard, who is going to lay the foundation for what will become a huge growth of trade? Who is the foundation for what will become a huge growth of trade? Good. Beck.
Greece.
Greece. On your whiteboard, give me 4 inventions during period 2 that will facilitate trade. Give me 4 inventions that will facilitate trade in period 2. I'm sorry. I'm looking out. This helps you, I promise. What are they, Campbell?
Winds, roads, bridges, and tariffs.
There you go. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is it called when the government takes a cut of goods being sold in their country or territory? Good. What are they? What are they, Jack? Tariffs. All right, on your whiteboard, please tell me, what is based off Zoroastrianism, Christianity, and a little Buddhism all blended together? Good. What is it? Sam? Sure, sounds good to me. All right, I am making a quick addition to previous notes. Spreads, ideas, culture, religion, most popular Buddhism leads to a lot of monasteries built. All right, so the Silk Road is really going to facilitate a lot of the spread of Buddhism in a major way. Although trade is a great thing, because it's going to allow more money to grow, all of these different types of things, it's also going to spread disease. So the spreading of disease. Now, of course, the most famous disease that's going to be spread along the Silk Road is going to be what? Black Death. That doesn't happen until period 4. Period 4 is going to be the Black Death. Black Death doesn't happen until 4. We're in period 2. So smallpox is going to be the biggest thing that's spreading right now. So spreading disease. Smallpox is going to be the most common thing that is going to be spread. We also have measles. Okay. Okay. The effect of it is economics slowdown. Okay, things start slowing down with the spreading of diseases. People look to say, maybe not. Now, the bubonic plague has been around for centuries and centuries. And there is actually still bubonic plague in China today. Did you know that? If you go to really rural parts of China, you can get the bubonic plague. We don't have a cure for it, but we can treat it. You're not going to die from it here in the United States, but people still die of it in rural parts of China and other parts of Asia and stuff like that. So I am going to write bubonic plague as well, but don't think, when you think of like the Black Death, it's not until period 4 that you think of like the big one that completely wipes out Europe. Yeah, it's not going to really hit Europe until period 4 where everyone's dying. It does, because everyone dies and all the serfs are like, screw you, I'm not working on your farm for free. And everyone wanders around. Yeah. All right. So the Han, just a quick review, the Han is going to collapse. Remember, all this is happening in period 2. Just because this week I taught you India does not mean that the Han aren't kicking it and the Romans aren't kicking it towards the end of the period. Okay? Keep in mind, when I teach you a period, I'm teaching you 2 chapters a week, but all these things are happening all at the same time. So the Han Empire is in decay. It's going to be knocked down by the Yellow Turban. Okay? Do you want me? I do have a couple questions on your test on the Han, so I want to make sure you do understand. So the collapse of the Han. Okay, so they're going to collapse first because of the Yellow Turbans. It's the official rebellion that causes collapse. And it's over what?
Land distribution.
There you go, land distribution, nice job. Okay? So, the outcomes of this. China reverts to land-based wealth. Okay, Buddhism and Taoism soar in popularity. Why would that become a big deal? Why would all of a sudden Buddhism and Taoism become incredibly popular after the fall of the Han? Why, Philip?
Because Buddhism means you take away all desire, and since it's land-based wealth now, not a lot of people really have land-based wealth, even though they did rebel, and then the land distribution is like kind of fixed,
Kind of. It wasn't the worst thing, but there was a lot of greed, people got jealous, stuff like that. Okay? The reason why Buddhism becomes super powerful is if your government's in complete shambles and everything is really hard, are you looking for an escape? Do you think legalism is a good escape? No, it's incredibly harsh and cruel. Do you think Confucianism is really going to really soothe your soul when it talks about how great the government is? No. Taoism, Buddhism gives people an escape, so it's going to soar. Okay? And these religions are salvation-based. Salvations. Okay? So they're trying to save themselves. Okay? Alright. So, that's what you need to know for the Han on the collapse. Okay? Now, finally, we're going to collapse Rome. This is what I like. Okay? Alright, so we got court intrigue, all this stuff. Go. Buddhism, Taoism, perfect. Alright, so the fall of the Roman Empire. Now, the fall of the Roman Empire is going to happen because there's going to be a lot of disease and a lot of death. Okay? So, the collapse of Rome.
Should like lots of ones still be in our stuff there?
Yep. Yeah, technically it is. It's just what they call it, chapter. And I don't know why they call it that. I would say the end of period 2. But they went with Silk Road. Alright, so the collapse of Rome. First major thing is it's going to have a ton of disease and a ton of war. So, epidemics are going to happen, are going to ravage the entire empire. So epidemics, what are epidemics? Disease, plagues, all that stuff. So lots of diseases. Is that good or bad for a government? Bad. Makes things a lot more complicated, but people are dying off very quickly. So a lot of diseases, a lot of death. Okay. First major guy you need to know is Diocletian. Diocletian is the emperor in general of Rome. Okay, he divides Rome into Eastern and Western. To try to save it. Because it's too big to rule. Okay? So, Constantine, all right, so what you're going to have is Diocletian divides into major empire. Okay, they're called co-emperors, and for the first 2 generations it works out pretty well. Then a new guy shows up, and he comes into power. So the first guy you need to know is Diocletian. Next guy is Constantine. Constantine is going to come into power about a couple of generations after the divide, okay? And he will rise to power. And create the capital of Constantinople. As his capital. Okay? So, Constantine emerges, he's victorious, he begins making Constantinople his capital, everything is going okay. Now, the problem with the Roman Empire is obviously the attack from the barbarians. So Rome's being attacked by barbarians. You do need to know their names. So here we go. Yes. Kill me, girl. Okay? So Rome is being attacked. By barbarians. They're the Visigoths. Huns, not Hans, what the hell? Huns. Vandals. And Franks. Okay, barbarians are non-Romans. So anyone who's non-Roman is technically a barbarian. So the Huns push non-Romans into Roman borders. Causing chaos. Eventually, leads to the sacking of Rome in 410 and the Germanic emperor takes power in 476. Okay. Throughout the year, there's names you do need to know. There's a couple dates you need to know. Okay? Hold on. 633 is a big date. It's when Muhammad gets his first contact with God. Okay? You need to know that. We haven't got there yet because we are still in period 2. That's period 3. Okay? 410 is a year you need to know. 410 is a big year because it's when Rome officially falls. After the fall of Rome in 410, it starts a vacuum of chaos. Eventually will lead to the medieval states that will eventually come. You need to know Rome falls in 410. 410 is a big year. 476, I don't really care if you know or not, you should know that a Germanic emperor is eventually going to take power. Remember in our primary source yesterday, the barbarians were just coming in and stealing money and leaving? Okay, eventually they will settle and they will appoint themselves leaders. Are they true leaders of the Roman Empire? No. But they call themselves Roman leaders? They're not. Okay, but that's not going to happen until 476. The first sacking of Rome happens in 410. You need to know that. All right, to the boards. Yes, sir.
Does that create the Holy Roman Empire?
No, that happens in that happens in 740.
Oh.
So we're about a couple hundred years away from that. Okay? All right, on your whiteboard, please tell me. Hold on 2 seconds. I do want to show you something. Okay. Where is a map? Okay, so I do want to, because I was writing notes, I wasn't actually instructing. Okay, so here's the Roman Empire. We know what the shape looks like, correct? All right, so it cuts through here and cuts around, hits the Black Sea, and it's completely in circles. The Roman Empire, before obviously it's invading its major borders, there were people who live outside the Roman Empire. Okay? We don't talk about them because they're not as organized as the Roman Empire, but there's people who are out there. Now what happens, Attila the Hun, okay, his people are invading a lot of territory out here in what we would call European Russia. He's conquering people and taking over and scaring people. So if you know some mean guy is coming after you and is probably going to kill you, or you're going to stay there, you're going to run in the opposite direction. You're going to run in the opposite direction. So all these people in European Russia are like, oh my God, if we stay, we're going to die. So they start pushing in this way. If you have hundreds and millions of people starting to shift away from the Huns, and they're going to push in, that's going to displace everyone else. Can we agree? Just like right now when we have all these Syrian refugees who are trying to flee Syria because of the civil war now, they're pushing into European states. Is that causing an issue here in 2016? Absolutely. A lot of people are closing their borders. Germany is kind of overwhelmed right now. Italy's overwhelmed. Greece is overwhelmed. Okay? Because of the displacement of a few of people moving out of Syria, it's caused tension everywhere. Just like with Attila and the Huns pushing in, they are pushing all these people who are north of the Roman borders into Rome. Because these people are coming and forcing them out of their homes. These people are now running to Rome for protection. Just like the Syrian refugees today are running to European countries for protection, they are running away from Attila the Hun. They're running to Rome for protection. Now Rome is standing at the door and they're like, no, don't come in, we can't deal with it. But they're still running the borders, and that's just going to overwhelm the government, and there's nothing they can do. Okay? It's just, and that's why a lot of European countries today are saying, no, you're not welcome here, including the United States. Saying that, oh my God, we can't accept you, because people are like, oh my God, you're going to overwhelm the government, there's nothing we can do, and it's just going to cause chaos. They kind of use the idea of Rome, that if we accept too many refugees, it's going to cause a collapse and too much tension, and it'll fall. So the reason why Rome falls is because the Huns are conquering in Asia, all the Asian people are trying to run away from them, and they're pushing other Europeans into Rome, and that's why the borders fall. Just too many people are in Rome. Does that make sense? All right, I'm done. Oh, of course. It's right here. Damn it.